December 24th. What else would it be besides Christmas Eve? National Egg Nog Day. Of course it's Egg Nog Day. See, now this fits into the calendar. Perfect. Perfectly what you want. Whether you're looking to get more into the spirit or you're completely over it, it's a drink. It's got some booze in it. It's going to set you up for whatever mood you're in, alrighty? To make this even more exciting, and because it's Christmas, I'm doing a twofer today. We're going to do two versions. We're going to do the classic eggnog with bourbon, and we're also going to do the Spanish, the Puerto Rican version, coquito. So we got them both here. You take which one you like. One is with rum, one is with bourbon or whiskey, one is a lot of coconut, one is a lot of cream. So one you got to cook, one you don't. One's got eggs, one it doesn't. Perfect. So you pick which one you like best, okay? But we're going to do them both at the same time because one, like I said, has to cook, one doesn't. One just gets all blended up together, okay? So let's jump right in here. In my saucepan here, I got 4 egg yolks, just the yolks, okay? I have 1/3 cup of sugar. So I'm just going to whisk that together until you get that nice, you know, custard base. That's what we're making here, a custard base, basically. So once you get to that smooth consistency, you're going to put this on a very low simmer. Very low, very low, very low simmer. And you're going to add 2 cups of whole milk, okay, and 1 cup of heavy cream. Okay, I'm just going to whisk that all together. You want to cook this very slowly. That's why you want a low heat. Okay, what we want to do is try to get this up to about 170 degrees as it's cooking. So you're going to have to thermometer this at some point to see where we're at. But for right now, just put that on a low simmer, and we're going to get a spatula and make sure we stir it and scrape the bottoms and such because we want to make sure we don't overcook this and scramble eggs, okay? So while that's simmering and we're getting our traditional classic eggnog going, let's start our coquito, okay? So it's all of this stuff. It's going to make a big batch. So I went to the dollar store and got these great bottles that have this, you know, cork thing on it, built in, attached, because that way I could just bottle it and refrigerate it. Both of these are going to refrigerate afterwards. So, but this one doesn't involve any cooking. It's basically dumping all of this stuff in here. And I'm going to use my immersion blender rather than doing this in batches in a regular blender, which you can do also. Okay, so let's just jump right in here. We need 6 cans of coconut milk. Okay. Ah, there we go. Oh, the coconut was at the top, holding it in. All right, let's try it with our spatula this time. That's a little bit easier. Okay. Make sure you get in there and scrape any coconut that's in there. You want as much of this flavor as you can. I'm using this pot, by the way, not to cook in it. I just noticed that now that I'm using this big pot because it's the biggest vessel I have, and I wanted to make sure I had plenty of room. Okay, to that now, you're going to add 2 cans of cream of coconut. You know, like Coco Lopez or the which is what I'm using. Or you can use the Goya version or whatever, it doesn't matter the brand, just 2 cans of cream of coconut, okay? Okay, and then next, 1 can each, 1 of sweetened condensed milk. It's really a creamy drink, huh? Don't worry, our booze is gonna cut this right down so it's not so syrupy, okay? And you're gonna add 1 can of evaporated milk. Okay, so 1 sweetened condensed, 1 evaporated. To this now, you're going to add, it says to add a 1/2 cup, I think, of vanilla extract, which would be 4 ounces. I don't know, it sounds like a bit much to me, so I'm cutting it down a little bit. I'm going to do 2 ounces, which is this whole bottle of vanilla extract. I know this is a big batch, so I think 2 ounces is fine. I don't think you necessarily need to add a 1/2 cup of vanilla. And then I'm going to add 1 teaspoon of cinnamon, okay? You can go a little heavier or a little lighter on any of these ingredients. Again, like I always say, this is not the end-all, be-all, you know, coquito recipe of all time. It's just one that I found, seemed really easy, seemed very flavorful, I wanted to give it a try, and since we're doing the classic eggnog too, we didn't have to go crazy and do some, you know, super fancy of either of these, okay? They're just the two basic drinks, but I'm sure both very tasty. We are going to taste test them against each other to see which one is the better of the two. Alrighty, let me check my custard there. I'm going to get ready to immersion blend this, and we'll be right back. Perfect, it's ready. It's at 170 degrees. You don't want to cook this until it's pudding, because that's what it'll eventually become if you keep cooking it. So you just want it, once you see it steaming, whatever, take the temperature. It's at 170 degrees, so we're good. We know that, you know, the eggs will be fine. Okay, to this now, we're going to add a half a cup of Jack Daniels, okay? That's our booze. You can go a little heavier or a little lighter. Again, it all depends on what you like and how strong you want to make it, okay? This is good for me right now just because I like to taste test things. As I always say, I like to taste test them the way they are first, and then we play around with them later. If we taste it and we're like, man, this needs more of a kick, then we know to add more of a kick. Should we now? Yeah, let's see how it tastes first. It's a classic, traditional way to make it, and then we'll see if we want to really just booze it up. And then you add 3/4 of a teaspoon of nutmeg, fresh grated nutmeg, or you know what you have in your spice cabinet, okay? And you just whisk that in to your eggnog. Now, our eggnog is pretty much done. We're going to let this cool down. There's a couple steps to this one. We're going to let this one cool down and put it in the fridge. And then what we're going to do is we come back later when this is cooled down and been in the fridge. We're going to whip our egg whites into, you know, a frothy, semi-peaky, almost like, you know, a loose whipped cream. We're going to whip our egg whites. We're going to mix that into our eggnog and then put it back in the fridge again to cool even more. And then we'll be back to drink it. A little nutmeg on top and we're good to go. Alrighty? So I'll be back when we're ready to do that, but I'll be back in a minute to get back to our coquito. So now, usually, because it's a Puerto Rican eggnog, they use Bacardi, which I believe is a Puerto Rican rum. Most of the recipes I saw, everybody was like, you gotta use Bacardi, you gotta use Bacardi. Okay. Well, I'm not using Bacardi. Well, I am using Bacardi, but I like to put my own twist on this one because I want a little bit more of that rummy kind of flavor thing going on. So I'm using a half a cup of dark rum, a half a cup of Captain Morgan spiced rum, and then for my Bacardi, I'm doing the big boy. I'm doing 151 to give it that octane, that fuel-derived octane for our coquito, okay? So I'm doing a half a cup of each of those. And then I will add, as I taste it, because this one you don't have to cook or anything, we don't have to let it cool down to taste it. We can taste it basically right away. We'll be able to add more rum if we think it needs it, okay? So that's the two, the dark and the Captain, and our 151, okay? Don't use the 151 near an open flame or you'll be sorry, because yes, it is flammable. Alrighty, so now I'm just going to immersion blend this until it's all nice and smooth and mixed together. I'm going to finish mixing this up. I'm going to put it into my bottles, and then I'm going to get it all in the refrigerator, and we'll let it all cool down, and we'll be back later on to taste test the two eggnogs and see how we did today. And hope we're not drunk by the time we get there. Nah, that comes later. That's tomorrow for Christmas. You sit home all day and you put on that Yule log and you just sit there and sip your eggnog. Alrighty? It's a bunch of hours later. Let's put the finishing touches on our eggnog. It's been chilling. This is the regular eggnog. It's been chilling. I'm going to take those 4 egg whites now and put them in my mixer with my whip attachment, tablespoon of sugar. And we're just going to whip this until we have soft peaks. Usually we look for stiff peaks, but today we're doing soft peaks, so it kind of looks like shaving cream, you know, like that kind of consistency. Alrighty. Like 2 minutes, that's all it takes. See, so it's kind of, well, it's a little stiff, but it's not stiff. Stiff. So now you're just going to basically take this and fold this into, actually, it's not even about the the volume on this. Like usually we try to make sure not to overbeat it, so that way it keeps that volume. For this, it's not even a question of that. You're just really mixing this in, okay? Hey, we're all done. There they are. This is our eggnog that we just finished making here, and then this is our coquito. Okay, so let's try them both and see. Interesting flavor. Really has a punch. I might have overdid it on the nutmeg because it's really got a strong nutmeg flavor. But it's not bad. I mean, it's nice. It's very frothy. It probably has to sit to settle because now that we whipped that meringue in, it's very frothy. Let's try our coquito. Well, this one I could tell already. Ooh. Ooh, that's got a kick to it too. We put a good amount of rum in this thing. Oh, and you get that nice flavor with all the coconut stuff we have in there, the Coco Lopez and the coconut milk and the sweetened condensed milk and the evaporated milk. Like it's sweet. It's got this great all-around flavor, and the rum just really just. Okay, we're going with coquito, everybody. I've never made traditional eggnog in my life, so it was nice to make it and try it and see how it is, but I've had coquito. I've never made coquito either, but I've had it a bunch of times. And man, this is definitely the way to go. Alrighty? Merry Christmas, everybody. Well, tomorrow, Merry Christmas, but Merry Christmas Eve. We'll see you tomorrow. It's a weird one tomorrow. Tomorrow they threw us a curveball, man. See you then.